What's up, guys? Let's go. Let's do this again. Portfolio reviews from me, the Mr. Troll, professional troll. I've been a troll since 2007, because then 2007 was the year that I joined Gameloft. So I became a troll because all the people that are professional artists in big companies, they are trolls, usually. But it depends. So, yeah, let's start with this first guy, Vlad Novikov. And I had a feeling that this guy would be good, but... And I checked him out before, but he's really good. So, yeah, he's very underestimated. He doesn't have too many things, but they are all on a very good level. Nicely presented, good renders, and very, very nice modeling skills, I would say. Nice presentation. The guy is young, and he has a bright future ahead of him, I would say. Very clean and nice. Very good stuff. I like to see this kind of things. They are inspiring me, even me, you know. Very cool. Even those are kind of speed sculpts, but they are clean. And nothing is just left behind. Like in some sculpts you will see the bust, the head is okay, but the hair and this area here in the bottom is kind of neglected. The ears are neglected. Here everything is touched, everything looks kind of finished. Yeah, the hair can have more detail, but it's looking good as it is. So Vlad is having my following, which I usually don't give too much, but he is a very perspective artist in my opinion. Very, very nice stuff. Yeah. Good work. Latvia. He's from Latvia. Nice. Latvia. You would agree that this guy is good, right? The Vlad is very good. But even if you don't agree, I would say he's good. So, yeah. Let's see Kelvin. Kelvin, okay, he has made this, which is a pretty complex character. And when I say a pretty complex character, I always mean that the character has a lot of stuff. And especially when the character has a lot of layers of clothing and accessories. For example, what we have here. One layer is this bottom thing here. Another layer is this skirt. Another layer is this one here. And on top of it are two layers of something like belts. It doesn't get more complicated than that usually. Yeah, it can be, but still here this is pretty complicated. I would say there is a little bit more to be wanted from the render itself, from the presentation, from the hands, how they hold the things. But let's see, the A pose is pretty great. Even the hands, they look pretty nice in the A pose. The folds on the clothes are looking nice. Overall, the A pose looks nice, except for the head. The lips are a little bit this kind of modern lips that they're putting something inside and look like sad ducks. So that's a little bit confusing. Other than that, it's a pretty good job. And when you make the presentation, a better render is expected because you have spent so much time working on the other character. This one is a little bit more simple, but it's still a character, a full character with clothes, with accessories, with even a pose. The pose for these characters is nice to have, but a pose is looking better than the pose itself. And I always advise people to present their characters in kind of more interesting pose. So the pose itself is not bad, but the hands are a little bit not posed that well. Also the folds on the pants are looking pretty bad. I mean, compared to everything else, the pants are looking very bad. That's my 2 cents about this. Other than that, good job, and I admire that they are full characters, not only whips, not only practices, not anything like this. Just full characters with topology, with UVs, with texture, with everything. This is amazing, and this is a rare thing to see because To make a full character, especially a complicated one, it's a very, very lengthy process, especially if you don't know the whole steps. Even for me, which I have done it many times, even for me it's like, oh, I have to do the high poly, then I have to refine it, then I have to do a low poly, which is a lengthy process, then I have to refine the low poly, then I have to do UVs, and all those steps are just, I'm tired before I start, you know. That's why I admire people who can do this, even if they are not professionals. For professionals, it's normal. They do this for a living. But for people who are just hobbyists for now, they're still learning to do something like this, a full character with everything, high poly, low poly, everything. It's just admirable. And on a good level, it was not bad. It was not completely professional yet. There are some things here and there, especially the face was a little bit off. But other than that, it's super cool. We like it. Usually a lot of artists skimp on the ear and hair details. Exactly, me included, by the way. So that's why I admired also Vlad from Litva or Latvia. He was probably Latvia. Taking notes on not neglecting ears and neck. I'm guilty of that. If you are guilty of not neglecting them, it's fine. Yeah. Hi Nico, I hope you're doing okay. I hope it too. Hi Nico, greetings from Italy. Italia. Perché? Perché? Or porque. No, porque is in Spanish, I think. Perché is in Italian, yeah. Turkey. Mohamed from Turkey. Okay, we have this kind of interesting things here. What is this? Those are pretty simple models. Yeah, they're nicely rendered. I mean, they look cool. But simple. This is nice. This looks cool, I would say. Interesting animations and stuff. But I don't know about those. They look like a 2D art. Like very simple drawings on the thumbnail. So a little bit confusing. But this one looks nice. You see, the render I like the most. It's so nice. Also the materials, of course. This kind of a plush material on the costume looks amazing. And the face I like a lot. So everything about this character I like. The render, the modeling or sculpting, the pose even is very, very relaxed and cool. And we have low poly, we have UVs, and it's made for some kind of advertisement. Let's see it animated. Wow. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, when you make a character, and at some point you see it animated because you work in a studio or for some kind of advertisement company or whatever, it's a very nice feeling to see the character that you worked on. You didn't invent the character usually. Usually you're working on a concept. But still, you spend so many hours to make this character, to model it from all angles, to look good. And then you see how the character is alive and it's moving. And it's so nice. Let's see this. Wow. Stylized James Hetfield. Okay, I wouldn't say it looks too much like James Hetfield, for example, but it is a very, very well made character. I mean, the pants, the boots, the jacket, it's super cool. And James Hetfield with Motorhead jacket, I'm not sure, but could be, why not? Hair is also nice, and it's probably real time, I don't know. Well, maybe it's not. Boots, very cool. Oh, it's real time. Wow, yeah, very good. I don't know if I'm even capable of doing real-time hair like this, so I approve. It's very nice. Mohamed is having our appreciation. He has only 11 followers, but he's very, very good. You cannot underestimate this guy. He's very good. Let's see Malaun Rashat. Malaun. Alright, I immediately will go and see Omni-Man. Okay. Yeah, Omni-Man is fine, but yeah, the anatomy is a little bit off. For example, these shoulders are a little bit small. and probably the overall arm is kind of a short, although it always looks like this when the character is clinching the fists. The arm tend to look a little bit smaller because it doesn't have the fingers straight. Okay, yeah, there is more that can be wanted from the anatomy, from the presentation, but overall, good try. Let's see this. This is Venom. But this Venom is something like a quick sculpt that most character artists could be able to do this for 2-3 hours at most. So it doesn't belong actually in the portfolio, except if you make it on another level with materials, with more variety in the teeth, for example, because the teeth are looking just the same. Almost all the teeth are same size. There are a couple of teeth that are a little bit smaller, but there should be more variety and more interesting teeth, in my opinion, of course. And probably a body will be nice. Overall, people, when they see something in ArtStation, they want to see hours and hard work and of course talent, or whatever you call it, but they want to see the hours. Here we can see just a couple of hours of work at most, so it's not gonna be likable too much. That's what I'm saying. I probably am a little bit more judgmental from the previous guys who were pretty good. So sometimes, you know, when you are in class and your work is measured by the previous works before your work, and the previous works were the best in class, for example, the best people in class, and then comes you and you're like, shit, it's messed up. And it's always like that, you know. People tend to be a little bit subjective. I mean, not objective, but subjective. The hair and the beard here is looking interesting, but the hat is absolutely just some kind of a placeholder. The clothes too. Overall, this character is very, very low. I mean, very early level of work in progress. So it also doesn't belong in a portfolio. This one is looking cool, but we need a better render, mostly. It will be better with a render with nice HDR, which will enhance the look of his metal armor. And also the metal armor shouldn't be that shiny. It should be a little bit more matte, with a little bit more texture and noise, but special kind of noise like dirt, crevices and stuff like this. So yeah, that's what we want to see. And this character is not bad. The pose and everything is fine, but it needs low poly with UVs and then go to Substance Painter and make it look nice. The metals and everything. Okay, this is just you know, test stuff. We have a Spider-Man. He probably is rigged because he has some poses. The hand is looking a little bit awkward. I mean, the fingers are looking a little bit like sausages. Here they're not looking that bad, but here they're looking a little bit. But other than that, not bad. Not bad stuff. Hetfield is Motorhead's biggest fan, for real. He said they were his biggest inspiration. That's nice. Professional troll, yeah. I'm gonna replace it, some of them, as I go. You should. You did 1999 has an amazing portfolio. I guess yes. Interesting how this also applies to AI about the effort. AI doesn't need the effort. Hello, do you teach Marmoset toolback? I have 1 or 2 courses that I'm going into Marmoset toolback inside them, I think. Здравствуйте, Nikolai. Здравствуй, Anakin Skywalker, which is not your real name, I guess. Although, maybe your parents were fans of Star Wars, so this is your actual name. Nico, am I good enough to get a job as a character artist? How can I share my ArtStation to your review? I'm at my office desk right now watching you, unfortunately working as an interior designer. It's not unfortunate. I was working as a web designer before I started my career in the game industry. Hey, I'll take not bad. Thanks for advice, Nico, okay? Can you say where to start learning rigging from Zero, Blender or Maya? No. but Udemy is a good place. You look like Adriano Celentano. Many people say that. Skywalker, of course. Anant was asking where to put his portfolio. This is here in ArtStation Portfolios channel on my Discord server, which is in the description of this video, should be the link. Let's see Damian. I like this demon head here. And let's see what else we have to offer. The chill guy is here. A 3D of the chill guy. The pants are a little bit like they are made out of crumpled... no, it's not paper because... but you have to pay more attention to the folds. The folds are important. Because the other parts of this guy are looking great, but the pants are just like, meh, not that good. You know, when I say that your portfolio is as good as the worst part of it, so the worst artwork, it's the same with the character. Your character is as good as the worst part of it. So if you have a very good looking everything on the character, but the pants are looking bad, people will judge this. And they will say, okay, this guy can do some stuff, but come on, pants. You have to be able to do better than that. This is nice. This is a little bit too much cut in here. But let's say this is design-wise. And probably a better materials should be nice for this particular guy. More renders from different sides, I would say. Because now we see him only from this front a little bit 3/4, which is fine. But here it's again the same. Here is the same. Here is the same. So couple of pictures which are absolutely the same are not speaking volumes. I mean, it's not like you are presenting your character in the best way. You're just putting same pictures with different render types, which I don't know, probably experimenting because you're a young artist. I would understand that. If that's the case, it's fine. Okay, let's see this. This looks pretty nice, I would say. We have a little bit of a process here. Yeah, ZBrush. ZBrush is good. Especially if you know what you're doing. And this seems pretty nice. Let's see this. Yeah, this face is not that good. When I see the demon face, and I will say this guy can do stuff. But when I see this face, I'm like, okay, face anatomy, more face anatomy, and a little bit of face anatomy would be nice. And maybe practice on folds or wrinkles in the face, because those are too uniform and they don't look kind of realistic. They don't look even stylized too much. Overall, I'm not a fan of this. I'm a fan of the chill guy and this guy here. The other ones, not so much. I don't know why. But there are some people, always, when you go to their portfolio, you can see nice stuff. You can see not so nice stuff. And sometimes the not so nice stuff, like this one, is kind of a new, which is, I don't understand. I cannot quite understand why this is happening. Nico, if you ever run out of shows to watch, Gomorrah 2014 Italy show is an amazing action-packed crime show. Yeah, probably. But with Netflix, I probably will never run out of. And Nico, do you miss ZBrush? When I saw this, the process of creating this guy, I missed it a little bit. Because, you know, when we're comparing ZBrush with Blender, they're pretty close. So you can do most of the stuff in Blender with what you can do in ZBrush, you can do it in Blender, sculpt-wise. Of course, in Blender you can do even more things, but it doesn't matter. The idea is that in ZBrush everything is a little bit more smooth, but a little bit. So this little bit, it's not worth it, the huge price differences between free and $1,000 or something. I'm not sure how their price model is already. I think it's monthly payment, I'm not sure. But now I was working with VR, this Shapelabs, and Shapelabs is a little bit more rough, a little bit rougher than the other ones. So I am, yeah, when I see this ZBrush presentation for this guy, I was like, wow, That was cool back in the days. I was working with ZBrush for 10 years. Around 10 years. And then I went to Blender. The last 2 or 3 years maybe. I think there are already 3 years will be. Since I started working with... No, 1, 2... Yeah, 3 years. 3 years since I was working only with Blender. And forgot about ZBrush. ZBrush is $400 a year, yeah. Blender is pretty good, yes. I can't go back to ZBrush now. I work with so many objects and I can't even sort subtools alphabetically in ZBrush. The whole thing is outdated. The only thing that keeps it alive is high poly. Yeah, high poly, and also there are a lot of artists. They are good now because they are old artists like me. And they started with ZBrush and they are still using ZBrush. And in the professional environment, many people are still using ZBrush. And many companies, they want you to know ZBrush to hire you. Although, if you are a very good sculptor, if you can do amazing stuff, they will not care if you use Blender because Blender is free. Even if you have to go to their office and work from there, you can easily install Blender on any machine and you can work with it. If you work with another software which is paid, they will hesitate. But since it's Blender and it's free, it's absolutely fine. Let's continue with Tamir Badmaev from Dagestan. No, probably not Dagestan, but something like that. Okay, let's see this character. Very nice, bright colors. The texture is a little bit too much on this, but it's not bad to say. The hands are looking great. The skin shader is a little bit strange in some places, and I would like to see the face actually, because the hair and everything is fine, but if we don't see the face, usually we cannot quite see if the guy is on what level is the guy, right? So let's see if we have face. We had a little bit of show of face. We have a face here. It's not bad. It could be better probably, but it's not bad at all. And I like the hair. It's a real-time hair, I guess. So it's superb. For real-time hair, I like it a lot. Let's see, this dragon is looking great. So this is a nice render. A very clean model. With scales and everything. It's not very clean. It's kind of clean. It has this kind of sharper edges and nicely, attention to the detail. Here it's not that clean in some parts of the head, and also the horns. They can be a little bit more like stylized, but other than that it looks great. This is some kind of work in progress or something. Yeah, so finish this and then post it. Make a little bit of a pose, as you do, because those poses are nice. This one and this one, they look great. And just do it. You have very nice 2 works, and this one is just making the portfolio go down. Russia. Moscow. Раз, два, три. Moscow. Посмотри, we already have seen this portfolio, I think, but let's see it again. Okay, this is a knight. Very, very complicated model, complex, I mean. This is the PureF file with a lot of references. Pretty good. I like to see sometimes this, to see what inspires this kind of interesting knight. Here, this is a little bit strange in the front. It looks like it's kind of pulled on the side with something. I don't know what's happening there. Yeah, it's normal here, but here because of the rig, because the legs are stretched and this is stretching here. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But it's very, very complex model with a lot of things going on, but we don't have a face, which I am not a fan of. I usually am fan of making some kind of face. Even if we have mask, just show a face, just for presentation, just to have it. Otherwise, it looks a little bit unfinished in here. Let's see. Walid from Algeria. Yeah, we have seen this portfolio, I think, back in the days. When we were young, like in the beginning of this year, maybe. Ooh, this even has a rig with 4 arms. Interesting. This is interesting. I don't know, this is some kind of experiment with this kind of things. Looks cool. Looks cool. Yeah. Experiment. So interesting stuff. Those kind of artworks are art. I don't know how they fit into the character artist thing, but the idea is that we have this, which is having a low poly, having a, I think, yeah, it has a low poly, it has textures and everything, so it shows some skill in character creation, which is great. But some things of here, like this, for example, I'm not sure it belongs exactly in a portfolio, because it's kind of a, yeah, this is sandworm, I know, but still it's doesn't look quite well in the portfolio. You know, I would put in my portfolio as a character artist mostly and only characters. Of course, when I was younger, I had some cars, I had some buildings, I had some other stuff, and I probably would be tempted to put them in my portfolio. But instead of doing that, just put your best characters in your portfolio. Choose 3 or 4 of the best and just put them there and nothing else. It will make the portfolio better. This in ArtStation. ArtStation is a professional site with people who are sometimes looking for somebody to make 3D for them, to make art characters or whatever in ArtStation. So you need to do it in ArtStation. You can put your other works in other sites, like DeviantArt or whatever. This looks very nice. The face is super cool. The clothes are, let me see. Yeah, this shadows, interesting shadows here are looking a little bit strange. But I guess it was made with Marvel's Designer. You know, not everything made with Marvel's Designer is necessarily good. Sometimes it's a little bit messy, like here. You cannot understand what's happening exactly there. So when you're making clothes with Marvel's Designer, you can dictate what kind of folds there will be. You have control. So make sure the folds are readable, the folds are looking nice, they're not too tiny, they're not overlapping too much. Overall, not everything made with Marvel's Designer will look super cool. You have to know what you're doing, usually. And here, this is an example of not exactly perfectly made sleeves. The face is superb. The proportions of the body are very nice. She has amazing stuff. And we have low poly. We have real-time hair, which is great. The eyes are looking great, although they are a little bit probably smaller or further apart than they should be. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. She looks very nice. The skin is looking very good. Everything is looking good. Just these parts of those sleeves are looking a little bit strange and awkward. But Costas, otherwise, is pretty professional doing things. This head is good. Maybe a little bit too much black here. We cannot see exactly the character. Usually when you're a character artist, you want to show off everything on your character. So a little bit not so dark blacks on the character would be nice. And if you have blacks, don't have the black background, because you are losing something of your overall character in there. We cannot quite see the silhouette of the character, which is important. But the head, as always, and the skin also is looking very nice. I like it a lot. The metals, though, could be better, I guess, with a nice HDR. Remember, always use HDR when you have metals on your scene, but not any HDR. Some HDRs are working great on your metal, some will not work that great. So you have to test, you have to make some tests and see what will work fine. It's not always everything works fine. This, I would say 2 years ago, not quite nice. Not quite nice. The spider itself, I mean the body, is looking relatively fine, but this is not too anatomical and it looks awkward. Other than that, good job. Kostas. From Greece, I guess. Although, there are people, like, for example, Kostas. And Kostas is from Ireland. I haven't seen where Kostas is from, actually. Let's see, where is he from? Usually, could be Greece. But it's not necessary. Yeah, he's from Athens, Greece, which is the capital of Greece. I know I've been there. They have a lot of oranges on the streets, by the way, and those oranges are awful. They are just smelling very nice. They're very good looking, but they taste like awful. Nico, have you watched Arcane Season 2? Not yet. So I have something to watch. I'm still watching Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai, by the way, is one of the best series I've watched recently. Cobra Kai. I didn't expect that. I wasn't having any expectations, but Cobra Kai, especially if you know the old movies, the Karate Kid, amazing stuff. All the actors from Karate Kid are in this Netflix series, Cobra Kai. You need high restful good pores. Usually yes, but it depends. You may make it without pores, then make the low poly, then make the UVs, and then put pores like displacement map or normal map with high resolution. Yes, again, you need high resolution, of course. Snake at home. Very nice, interesting. I just educate him about humans and the danger to roam around. He understands, of course. Should I quit my job and go all into learning Blender and praying to get a job in 1 year in some marketing agency or so? I would say don't count on it right now. Don't put all your eggs into one basket, because now overall the things doesn't seem too bright for the industry. Maybe there will come again the good times, but for now it's not exactly easy to find a job, except if you are good, except if you have experience, which most young people doesn't have. Hi Nico, I hope you're doing well. Can you sculpt 2 characters in action under 2 hours? Probably not. Do you think people neglect fold anatomy and rely on Marvel's designer simulation too much? Not so much. Whenever I see Marvel's designer, usually the folds are relatively nice. Most of the time they are better than done by hand, so it's fine, but sometimes, especially on stylized characters, it's better to do those folds on by hand. Of course, the character that we are talking about, this one here, is a very realistic character, so those folds are probably working fine, but in the render you see that it's awkward. The shadows are not on right places. There are some issues with this, and probably because the high poly was too much tucked inside and everything, and then the low poly, and then the baking wasn't doing right, and there are problems with the normals in this area. So we have to take this into consideration when you're making the folds of your model. They have to be a little bit more simple, not that complex. This complex thing doesn't translate well into a low poly and UVs and everything. What about the new Karate Kid movie? I haven't watched it, I think. Nico, any portfolio lighting tips or any courses? The lighting, I don't know. I have to probably do a lighting course myself. And not to do it, to take a lighting course for myself. I'm not superb in any case in lighting or render or materials. I'm trying though. And that's why I'm spending, like, when I do a character, if I have to present it, if I have to render it, I would spend some couple of hours to just make sure it looks the best that it could look. Because we have spent 50 hours to make this character. This is a long time. Couple of weeks, for example. You have spent all your free time to work on a character, and then to not present it properly, it's a shame. Don't shame yourself. You will not find a job in 1 year of learning 3D, not even in 3. It depends. It depends how fast you learn. There are some people who in 1 year can become pretty good, but still, even then, it will be difficult. Nico, have you watched Love, Death and Robots on Netflix? The episode Jibaro is so good. I know what you're talking about. I know Love, Death and Robots. I watched the first and the second season, if we call them seasons, of course. And this one was with the gold, these conquistadors, just looking for gold, right? It was just mind-blowing. I want a samurai course from you, brother Nico. I also want a samurai course from me. Definitely, should be done. I should do it. But first, some other things. And let's go to the portfolios again. We have to go through a lot of portfolios today, I think. So let's not waste any more time. This, what is this? Just a car. The car itself is not bad, but the thumbnail is not so good. There is not contrast between the foreground and background. Yeah, it's a scene with a car inside of it, but all those scenes that will that kind of look nice when you see it full screen, on the thumbnail they don't work because there is no contrast. There is nothing to kind of attract your eye. A good thumbnail here is this one, for example, because there is a lot of contrast. The character is looking great. She have a nice face. She is work in progress. This one also is work in progress, but those are pretty nice things, and I would say those has to be finished because they are very, very, very nice. Wow. Though all those characters, they are not whips and sketches. They are pretty much almost finished characters. They deserve their own post in this ArtStation profile. And even this character by itself would be a better post than this, for example, you know. And then this also. This one is fine by itself, but it doesn't belong in a professional portfolio that much. Especially in a thumbnail, it's like something like a whip or something, although the render is not bad. Here we have a couple of characters, as we can see, and the thumbnail is showing that we have a couple of characters. But this type of characters, this guy can do, Osman, can do very, very nicely, and he's pretty good at it, this kind of stylized stuff. So here, I would like to see the same thumbnail as here. Couple of characters, to see that we have couple of characters in here. This one just deserves to be finished with colors and nice render. It will be amazing addition to the portfolio. Amazing, very nice. Okay, this one, I'm not sure. The face is a little bit overcast, we may say. It's a little bit too much brightness on the face. Otherwise, very good everything else. But the face is a little bit not presented well. I'm not saying it's bad, it's fine. This, I cannot understand what's happening here. It's an illustration. A very nice model, very nice anatomy skills, I would say. Yeah, I'm not joking, it's super cool. Yeah, this guy can do stuff. This is amazing. Very interesting and nice folds. Sharp, well-developed folds. Here I would like a little bit more like stronger folds in this area, and on the skirt as a whole, maybe some other folds, experiment. But other than that, this is just wow. Those legs. I was thinking that these legs are continuing from this illustration, from the top here, and I was like, what's happening? She turned her back at us, and now she's turning like sideways. The legs are broken. They're too big. What's happening? But this is another thing. He's showing the footwork that he was making, the shoes, and everything is just very, very, very nice. I like it. I like most of the things here, except for the piano, the car, and this guy. Everything else is superb. Let's see this a little bit realistic stuff. The hair is nice. The face, this looks very cool. I guess it's fine. There's something in the eyes that I don't completely approve, but other than that, I mean, very good job with the hair. Not bad. Likeness. Osman is good. But who am I to say who is good, who is not? The idea is not to be good when you're presenting your ArtStation portfolio. But still, if you're good, I'm saying it's good. Hey Nikolai, you could grow an unibrow and wear a shirt without buttoning the top 2 buttons. That would be sexy. I could grow a unibrow. So, are you watching this right now? Are you watching this? Are you sure I could grow a unibrow? I already have unibrow. And I'm buttoning the shirt and showing my hair here because I have hair. Would be nice, but I don't wear shirts. I wear only t-shirts, not shirts. Let's see this guy. I like this guy. This guy is very nice. By the way, this is from my ZBrush beginner course. And this is one of the very good works from the course, I would say. Very close to my... But this actually is from the Substance Painter course. So there is a ZBrush course in the beginning where we do the high poly of this guy. Then there is a 3D Max course where we do the retopology and UVs. And then there is a Substance Painter course when we make the texture of this guy. So he's taken all the 3 absolute beginner courses, ZBrush retopology in 3D Max and Substance Painter by Nikolai Naidanov. Who is that guy? And I can say he's one of the best teachers I have ever had. I like it. You know, this is good for my ego, you know. The guy saying that I'm the best teacher that he ever had, which is great. Not many people are thinking that. Not all people are thinking that, especially the people that I teach live. Some of them, the lazy ones, the ones that don't pay too much attention in class, and also they don't give homeworks or anything, they are not happy because I gave them bad grades, and then they gave me bad grades too, so it's fine. Hey Nikolai, you could grow a unibrow? Yeah, this is the question. Can you say where to start learning rigging from zero to Blender or Maya? No, I cannot say that. Ненормальный вопрос. I also know that Nico, he is good sometimes. Yeah, you should do a weekly Discord challenges, in my opinion. Really? Do you think so? I should try doing weekly Discord challenges. I guess you're right. You're absolutely right. Like this, for example, create a weekly sculpt challenge channel in the Discord, and then make every week a different concept to sculpt, to everybody to sculpt, right? This is what you mean. I should do that. I probably should. Maybe. Maybe someday I will do this. Maybe I will do a weekly challenge someday. But we will see. We're not sure. Let's continue with our guy, which is Jzju. I don't know, what is this name? Jzju from Ukraine. This looking good, although the render I'm not completely a fan of. And also we don't have shadow on the floor, which I usually want. I want shadow on the floor, although I'm saying always shadow on the floor, shadow on the floor. If you have seen the thumbnail of this video, which is the, it was before the video begins, if I don't put a custom thumbnail, it's just the thumbnail from my page here, and some of the models, they don't have shadow on the floor, which, but I always say shadow on the floor, so yeah. Yeah, good weapon, nice. Let's see this. I cannot say anything bad about this guy anymore. He said that I'm the best teacher, and I cannot say anything bad. The face needs more work, actually. And the hands are a little bit too sharp. I mean, when you're making stylized hands, yeah, they can be with this kind of squarish profile, but a little bit softer on the edges. Not so sharp. Doesn't need to be that sharp. Okay, a good job. Pretty good job, actually. This is from Next Tooth Education course, I think. Yes. And it's a good job, so the course is probably pretty good. So people can do this nice stuff from it. It should be a good course. This one is just a project based on a concept, which is great. This is not from a course. And it's also not bad. Does it have a low poly though? But even if it doesn't have a low poly, it's looking pretty good. And the render is nice. Overall, not bad. Let's see the model actually, the concept. You know, this concept is fine, but I would not do a 3D based on this concept. Why? First, it's pretty complex. There are a lot of details and stuff. And second, it doesn't sit well overall, the concept itself. So the 3D is pretty well done. When you have a concept, which it will not look that good in 3D, but still, you made it work, you're good. Okay, this guy is from United States, and he's doing ear. By the way, when we are I was studying engineer design in university, and we had some sculpting classes there, and they made us do ears with clay. And it is a good exercise actually, because the ear is pretty complex form. And yeah, it's difficult to make. But I would guess, yeah, this is not a professional portfolio, obviously. This is some things that the guy has made. This is probably the beginning of his career. I started learning Blender on November 29, 2024. So this was 2 weeks ago. So it's amazing for 2 weeks of work, I would say. Go for it. Continue working. It's a good thing that he wrote that, because we have a context. I would say it's a good if he was working with 3D for a couple of months, it's fine. But he's working only for 2 weeks, so it's more than fine. It's very nice. Yeah, Discord challenges we should do. No, but how cool would it be for you to do a weekly sculpt challenge with your viewers? Exactly, exactly. I will think about it. Maybe next year we can do this. We'll see. We will do a weekly challenge. Wow. Wow, I like it a lot. Why do I like it? I don't know. When I see it, I just like it. But then I kind of start to noticing little details, like for example, this arm here doesn't look quite nice. This arm also is not holding the knife, because there is a knife here, but the arm is not holding it. It's like this, so it will drop the knife. And the other arm here is not holding the weapon properly. But other than that, it looks pretty awesome, like sharp and nice. The folds here also can be better. So this guy, Lawrence from Belgium, he's a little bit like me. When I was young, I was, and I'm also like this, but now I know before I post somewhere, like ArtStation or Instagram, I try to put a little bit more hours than I would usually put on something. Because I know that if I fix this fold, for example, if I make it better and not so chaotic, it will look better. If I fix this fold and make it more pronounced and exact and particular, it will make the model better. If I fold those fingers here and those fingers here and make a nice fist, make nice holding of the gun, it will make the character better. That's what I'm saying. All those things am I saying. But other than that, a relatively good model. Although unfinished, as we understood. This one, not bad. It has a turntable also. Yeah, the chest muscles are a little bit strange because of the pose probably. It needs to get a little bit more thin in this area here, and it will stay like this here, but here thinner. Like here, for example, we see these and this are absolutely parallel to each other, these lines, which is not a good thing. You don't have parallel muscles or parallel, you know, things in the chest. They're all like fanning from the arm to the clavicle and then to the rib cage and so on. But I like the arms here, the hands also. Overall, a pretty good job, but there's a few things that grab my attention. This is looking great. And the hair also, not bad. This guy is pretty good looking also. So we have a character artist who is pretty good, but he's a little bit lazy at the moment. For example, here you can see those things are just put there and let's go, let's go. The face will drag the attention, nothing else matters. Which is fine sometimes, but sometimes when people are, for example, professionals, when they look at your portfolio, they will notice those things. And if you want to have a job in the industry, or maybe you already are working in the industry and this is just for fun, I don't know. But it's better to just finish those projects because they are fine, they are nice overall. But here and there the details are showing laziness, which you don't want people to see. I'm also lazy, but I don't want to show it, especially in my works. So I try to finish them before I put them in the portfolio. You know, when I see some portfolio with works that are not that good, I'm saying, okay, this guy just is not on that level yet. But Lawrence from Belgium is on that level. He's just lazy. He can do it without any issue. He's pretty good, but he's just lazy. And that is something that you can easily fix. You can just work a little bit more on the model, just look at it and say, okay, this can be fixed. The folds, the fingers can be made better. It will also be cool if he named himself Speed Character Artist since he's fast. That's also a good idea. Great ideas in the chat today, I would say. The idea about the weekly challenge, amazing. The idea to name myself Speed Char, like my channel, for example, is just superb. Very good ideas. I have to write it down, by the way, because it's super interesting. When I bumped my fist on the desk, and this thing made some sounds. This recognizes when you look inside and it's starting to do stuff. It's very nice, the VR, by the way. I like it a lot. The bad thing about this is super expensive, and the guys from the Shape Labs, they send me this headset, and I will have to return it after I make the video for them. Maybe the video will be in this channel, we will see. And it probably will be January, because December, obviously, I will not be able to do it. But later, alligator, we will be able to do it. Hey Nico, new around here, but I wanted to ask. Did you work on 3D art? Are you still working? I was working in Gameloft for 15 whole years. 15 years. And of those 15 years, 12 were like 3D artists. Before that, I was 2D artist. So I have worked. How is the best way for a beginner like me, 2 months into 3D art, to get to the job on the area? The best way is to spend a little bit more time. Many people say that it's impossible for 1 year to become good enough for the industry, but I think it's possible if you work 8 hours a day and you practice good. And the good practice is working from references always. If you practice just working from your imagination, it will not make you better. What makes you better is only working from references. Remember this. So you have to just spend a lot more time. Usually 2 months is not completely enough to get a job in the industry, except if you're very lucky and some indie game company that doesn't have too much to ask because they don't give too much money. I don't know, then 5% improvement is better than none. Exactly. My portfolio at last. Thank you in advance. We will skip Ivan Kuchin and we will continue with Yamal. His portfolio looks very nice, and Ivan, he probably can wait till the next time. I guess it will be fine. Yeah. Hi Nico, when will you think we'll release a new course, and when will be the next topic? The next topic will be leg and feet anatomy exercises course. I will try to do a couple of legs. One leg will be normal, one leg will be muscular, one leg will be super muscular, one leg will be female leg, for example, and one will be stylized. Something like this. That's what I'm thinking of. We'll see. You detach from character, brother. Who is detaching? I don't know. Can be that he's lazy, but there are many people. No. Ivan, I'm joking, of course. Your portfolio is next, relax. I was joking. Can be that he's lazy, but there are many people that they don't know how to finish things. I know a lot of these people, and special new generations will say it is finished and look like that. Yeah, I know, probably. Eugene. If you keep the helmet, be sure to buy another mount for the headset. No, I cannot keep it. They gave me just for the video and I have to return it. Maybe if I like it a lot, I will buy another one. But since I am a 3D artist for a long time, I probably will buy, this is Meta Quest 2. I will buy Meta Quest 3, most likely. Because Meta Quest 3 has better cameras on the front, better resolution inside, and overall it's better headset. Of course, it's a little bit more expensive. This one you can find here in Bulgaria second-hand, because I will not buy new. New is just impossible. Second-hand, this one can be bought from around 300 euro, probably. You can buy it second-hand. The other one, the 3, the next version, I think second-hand, the lowest price I've seen is around 450 euro, something like this. So it's expensive, so I haven't decided yet if I really want to buy something like this. We will see. Maybe at some point, if I feel very sad and depressed with my life, I will buy this headset, I will put it on, and I will go inside the virtual world and never look back, you know. Never. I will just jump into that and lose myself into the virtual world inside it. How expensive it is? Yeah, I told you. It's pretty expensive. In your experience, there's junior art position? There was junior art position back in the days. Nowadays, not so much. It depends. For example, let me give you an example. I was teaching in this academy here in Bulgaria. It's called Arc Academy. In Arc Academy, you are paying huge amount of money for 2 years of education. And education includes 3D art, concept art, game design, producer stuff, everything from the game industry. And when you finish, if you are good enough, because the teachers are all from the industry, so if you are good enough, most of the time you will be offered a job in the industry. But of course, 1 year in Arc Academy was costing 4,000 euro, at least 4,000. Now it could be more. So it's not cheap. But when you finish this kind of academy, where the teachers are really from the industry and you show potential, they will probably be able to kind of, you know, you will have connections already with people in the industry, and maybe you will find a junior position somewhere if you show a great potential, of course. If you are lazy and skipping lectures and not making the homeworks good enough, you will not make any attention with the teachers, and you will just waste your money like some people are doing there. Nico, for juniors enjoying doing characters who wants to work in game industry, should we focus on props or characters? I guess both. You cannot do characters without be able to do props. But if the characters are your passion, just focus on the characters for now, make good anatomy, skills, and working from concept. And the props, they are kind of easier. You should stream from the VR world. Probably I will do that. Hey Nico, do you think practicing 4-5 hours a day is enough? 4-5 hours is amazing practicing a day. It's better than 3, it's better than 1, it's better than not practicing at all, of course. Sometimes 4 to 5 hours is the best, because more than that, you can get exhausted, you know. It can get exhausting. Let's see Ivan, by the way. I'm sure he's waiting with great impatience right now. Okay, first glance, very nice overall things. We have shadow on the floor, or reflection even in most characters I see. We have very, very clean and nice forms and shapes. Good anatomy, good proportions. Everything looks good, except for this one, by the way. This one and this one. They're a little bit old, and in my opinion, they're even on the second row. They need to go. All of them. I will not even click on them. They just need to be removed. But the other ones, very nice. You see separation, foreground, background. We see the characters very clearly, very sharp, and they are interesting looking. Let's see this one, for example. Good job, good finish, nice render, and we have something like shadow on the floor. It's not exactly, but she's obviously stepping on the floor. She's not flying in the air. Obviously, there is a floor beneath her, and there is something like a shadow there. It's super nice. Let's see more renders. Oh, we have even a turntable. Good presentation. You know, turntable is a pain in the ass to do. A little bit of pain in the ass. It requires for you to spend like 1 more hour or 2 more hours into the model just to make sure it turns without the lights. The lights should stay in the same place and only the model turns. So you should attach it to an empty object. I show it how to do it in my recent courses. But this is even a low poly, which is even greater. We have a nice... No, this guy is good. So, Ivan or Ivan. Хорошая работа. I don't know how it's called exactly in Russian. Неплохо. Неплохо, I know. And хорошая, I know. But I cannot make some very, big expressions in Russian. You see, amazing job on the model. Very good pose. The render here is a little bit awkward because this skin is too red first. Maybe she's a devil, yes, she has red skin. But still, it's a little bit overcast in some areas. Like this white sleeve is too white in some areas. At least that's how I see it. But other than that, it's just superb job. Very cool. Yeah, when something is good, what to say? This. I can go there and say I would be proud to do something like this, although I would do a little bit more interesting folds in here, for example, in the areas that are that seem a little bit empty. Without here a one fold like this, like diagonal fold there will make it more interesting. Here we have some folds, but be more brave, make them a little bit more pronounced. It will be nice. But the overall silhouette and the shape of this is just superb. And the pose, the face, everything looks great. And let's see finally this pretty complex lady. Anyone can see that this is just a very, very, very good job. Very good render, very good presentation with the turntable. I don't have anything to say, just very good, Ivan. Ivan, we cannot see how many followers you have because you gave me this thing here. Can we take this, copy it, and make this? And go to... Haha! Nico is a smart guy a little bit. So this is your portfolio, 787 followers. There was a Boeing plane with 747 it was. I don't know. The plane, yeah. But you deserve more, my friend. Just remove those two. Everything else is very nice. Ivan, he was expecting his portfolio because he know he's good, right? Ivan, you sabaka, you know it. Doesn't Gnomon art cost like 50k a year? I don't know. Gnomon, if it exists anymore. Thanks so much for the review, I really appreciate it, no problem. Patience and time will make you a good artist, that's the only way you have if you don't have a talent. Talent is a little bit overrated in my opinion. Even without a talent you can be fine, In Marmoset you can make a turntable with a few clicks. In Marmoset, probably yes, but if you have just a high poly, like most of my works are mostly high polys, then I don't know. Probably you can. But in Blender you can do almost everything, so it's fine. Хорошая работа, наверное. Наверное, да. What do you think of future AI 3D modeling? I'm a little bit afraid. I have to be honest. I'm a little bit afraid that in the future AI will be able to do a concept very well and very correct. For now, it's just not good at it. But remember, 2D art is very accessible. Anybody can see it, anybody can do it. 3D art is completely different thing. The 3D art is not very accessible, not anybody can do it, not anybody need it, not anybody can present it. You can make 2D images in Midjourney or whatever, and then you can place them in your ArtStation, in Facebook, whatever, and people will say, wow, very nice. The 3D, how will you present it? You have to know a 3D program, to open the 3D in it, to make a turntable, to refine some things if they need to be refined, to render them properly. There are a lot of things that in 3D that the normal people cannot do. Only 3D artists can do those things. That's why I'm thinking that first, the AI engineers, they will not push themselves too much in this field, in the 3D. Because it's not that mass production stuff like Midjourney or whatever. Midjourney and the other AI image generators, they are competing with each other and developing very quickly. The 3D, there is no competition, nobody cares. So I'm guessing we are fine. We'll see. Are your portfolio reviews specifically for sculptors or for 3D artists in general? They're mostly for sculptors because I consider myself sculptor, 3D sculptor, and 3D character artist. So I consider myself a specialist in this field. I was making environment, I was making houses. When I was working in Gameloft, I was making cars, weapons. Yeah, it's fine, but for me, it's not that interesting. It's probably some of the things are a little bit easier. Of course, if you want to do a very nice weapon, it's also time consuming. It's not that easy, but it's not that interesting for me. For me, the interesting thing is to see the eyes of your character. You know, the weapons or the cars, they don't usually have eyes, and you cannot see them in the eyes and say, I made you. You are my servant right now. You're my slave, or something like this. I don't know. It's just something like complex, like ego thing, to create life. You know, to create somebody with, like, here we can see different expressions. So this is very nice. You know, it feels very nice when you are able to do something like this, because you create something that looks alive. And you will scream, of course, it's alive! It's alive! You will laugh, you know. So yeah. Nico, why I found modeling props is harder than characters? What am I doing wrong? You just don't have too much experience with it. I started by modeling like chairs and sofas and rooms and everything. So I started with that, I had some experience doing it, and then I started characters years after. So for me, props and modeling is kind of not so interesting, and it's not easy. Let's not say it's easy. It's not easy. It's not that interesting for me. To make a turntable, you just need to animate the camera in a circle. You can animate the camera in a circle, that's one way to do it, but you also have to animate the lights with the camera, which you don't want to do usually, because you light the character only from the front with good light. You put a rim light, very strong rim light in the back, for example, and then if you rotate only the camera, then your model will look very bad from behind. It will be overlit. So what you want to do is just rotate only the model, nothing else. It's just a simple way. Hi Nico, do you have a game ready character course? Yeah, it's called Game Ready Character, I think. And it is in ArtStation. You can find the link in the description, by the way. When you go to my ArtStation store, I will click the link right now. And this is the link. And this is all my courses in ArtStation. This one is Create a Commercial 3D Game Character in Blender course. This is a commercial 3D game character because this particular character is inside the game. The character that I made in the course is actually in the game because I made it with the permission of Gameloft. When I was working in Gameloft, I made this character in YouTube. And by the way, it's $20. It said here, it's absolutely free in my YouTube channel, the other one. Not SpeedChar Live, but SpeedChar without the live. The SpeedChar dead. It's without the live, so it's dead. But you can find it, this particular course is there for free. The other ones are not there for free. They're in other sites, the torrent sites or the other site for free. But you can find them also here in ArtStation and buy them from here because this will support my living. And I will be able to buy a VR set like this one, but the newer one. Or at least I will be able to feed my family, which is great. Very nice. Also, this is a full 3D game character. But the workflow on this character is a little bit interesting on the Fox, because I was working in ZBrush mostly at that time. So I made the high poly with ZBrush, and then I make the low poly also with ZBrush. Then I fix it a little bit in Blender and fix the UVs, because I make the UVs also in ZBrush. So high poly, low poly, and UVs only in ZBrush. So that's why this is unique character. I don't think there is anywhere in the internet you can find a course like this to make a character mostly in ZBrush. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, this is in ZBrush. We have some simulation even for the cape, by the way, but then I didn't. Actually, we have the retopology in ZBrush, completely retopology in ZBrush and UVs. Then we post it in Blender, do some refining, some fixing, then Substance Painter, and then going back to Blender to present it with rig, by the way. And I don't know why this is here. Why is this happening? Why did I put this image? This is just awkward. I don't know, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's yeah, those are some of my courses. By the way, I always will refer this course, Head Anatomy and Sculpting Exercise courses. I do skulls, stylized, non-stylized, faces, human, male, human, female, and stylized faces, and faces from different styles. It's pretty good for face, and for a character artist, the face is the most important thing. Hand also. That's why those two courses are just very important. The legs, which I'm about to do a course about legs, they're not that important. That's why I'm a little bit like, should I do this course? But probably I will do it. We'll see. So this was my portfolio. This is not my portfolio, unfortunately, because I would like to do a character like this one with very, very cool and very expressive expressions. It looks amazing. It looks very, very nice. So I am impatient to see this portfolio. Wow. See, this is Benaisa Abdeljalil. Very nice. So Benaisa Abdeljalil is doing great. This character is just superb. He has amazing rigs. Yamal working on lately. The 3D rig model is designed for junior animators to showcase their work. Hope you like it. Okay, this guy is mostly animator, but he's still rigging and making characters probably. But this is just one artwork in this portfolio. We want more, so please do more. This one is just superb, very nice looking. This is Scorpion from Mortal Kombat, I know, because I've played this game a lot. I had this game, by the way, when I was 11th grade, so almost 10th, 11th grade, something like this. Between 10th and 11, I was working in the seaside, and I managed to gather some money and bought a Sega console with Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate Edition. Wow, it was amazing. And I was playing like crazy Mortal Kombat Ultimate. That's why I'm very good in fighting games, you know, because I was playing so much Mortal Kombat Ultimate back in the days. Oh, let's see. It's Ice Nico. It's always the ice. Yeah. Great voice acting, Nico. Yes, thank you. For me, 3D is always cool because even if you make a character, you can work more in it, make it into a game animation or just a scene in general. It's a super flexible. I agree. It's a turn-based game. Can most professional 3D artists draw 2D professionally? No. I'm not sure about most, but the 3D character artists, I know some of 3D character artists who don't know how to draw. They are very good in their work, but they cannot draw. But many of them, I don't know if it's most, but many of them, like me, come from drawing background. So I was drawing back in the days, I was drawing a lot as a kid. Then as an adult, I continued to draw. Then I found a job in the industry as a 2D artist. And since I had fun sculpting and doing stuff, I became a 3D artist afterwards. That blue Nico looks good. Yeah, I always make my backgrounds blue, yeah. Is learning hair cards worth it? In my opinion, not so much. Why? If I have to do hair cards, if I have to do them, I cannot avoid it. I will go to ArtStation, go to the marketplace, find hair cards and buy them. They will be like $20, $50 at most. And I will get, there will be a couple of hairstyles in these hair cards. I will get one and just touch it a little bit so it fit my character. This is how I would do hair cards right now, these days. Back in the days, this was not a possibility. So you had to learn how to do hair cards. But nowadays, there are a lot of things that you can do cheaper. And with less effort, we may say. Nico, I made a character for Mortal Kombat 1. You should see some of them in my ArtStation. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. We'll see. First, we have to go to Mohamed ArtStation and see what's happening there. Can you name a game that you worked on, please? I will show you even. Yeah, we have time. This is one of the games, one of the last games I worked on. This character is Tamatus, and this character is of my doing. But, and inside the game, a lot of characters. This is a mobile game, but it works also on Windows, as you can see. But this particular game, Heroes of the Dark, I don't recommend anybody to buy it. As a game, it's not that good, but the characters are pretty nice. And let's see, this one is made by one of my friends, one of my best friends. This one, I think I did it. Yeah, and as I said, when you make a character, you spend so much time to make the high poly, then feedbacks, then retouch it, then make the low poly, then make the UVs, then go to Substance Painter, do some texture. And then you see this character animated, breathing in the 3D, in the game. It's pretty nice. This one also I did. This one is not mine, this one is mine. This is one of my favorite ones actually, because the face is pretty interesting. This is a werewolf character without a tail. Some of the werewolves here doesn't have tails. This one also is mine. I'm not super proud of it actually. This one also is mine. And I should have done a little bit more polygons here on this area, around the bottom of the neck. But we had a poly count like for 15,000 triangles for the whole characters with open mouth. And everything, 15,000. So it's not too much. We cannot put too much in this. This was not mine. This is mine also. A huge tank lady. This is not. This is not. This is mine. I also like this one a lot. There's a lot of detail here in the front. And it's a complex character because you have a couple of layers. You have the pants. On top of the pants you have this vest. On top of the vest you have a belt. On top of the belt you have this coat. On top of the coat you have another belt with things inside of it. So there are a lot of things in this character. That's why it looks kind of cool. I like it. This one no. This one no. This one no. This one I also like how it came out. Pretty nice. And this is probably my favorite character, and this is the favorite character of one of our animators, by the way. She liked it a lot. The animator was a girl, that's why I'm saying she liked it a lot. And that's why she did it very well. The animations and the rigging are pretty nice. And the concept from the guy from Romania, it's very nice. It was very nice concept. So when the concept is good, when the concept guy is very good, then everything else just comes together. Then I just super enjoy working on the character. And the animators then see a nice, very well made model, and they also like to work on the character. And everybody is doing their job the best way they can because they enjoy it a lot. And this was a challenge because of these things here in the back. Especially for the low poly, those things were a little bit challenging. But nothing that we cannot handle, you know. I love a little bit of a challenge sometimes. So, but this is not about me, you know. I'm just showing what I have done. Can somebody follow along with your Blender courses but in ZBrush, or are they conflicts? I guess you could do some things, but you have to know ZBrush pretty well. And probably you can. Nico, so for somebody a bit lazy when it comes to finishing, polishing a work fully, You say you relate. What made you change this and put more effort in it? When I started working on my professional portfolio in ArtStation, I liked the works in ArtStation to be nice. For example, in the beginning, I posted almost everything in ArtStation. But then I watched my portfolio, and I tried to watch my portfolio with the eyes of a foreign observer, for a different person, not me. So I was a different person just bumping into this portfolio. Do I like this? Do I like... And I realized that I don't like some things. I realized that those things are not on the level of the other things. They are not looking good in the portfolio. So I just removed them. I didn't want to put some just filling the stuff, because I'm telling you, fillers in your portfolio are working against you. So don't keep those fillers. How much time did you spend on these characters? I think it's a big misconception about beginners that a good character can be made quickly in a couple of hours. No, those characters are made in about 2 weeks each. So for 2 weeks, you start with the character in Monday. You do some things about 2 days, then you give it for feedback, you get feedback. Then you continue on the feedback and continue developing the character, and to Friday you should be finished with the high poly. That's ideal. Maybe sometimes you will do it Saturday, Sunday if you want, or in the next week in the beginning. But next Monday, you should be finished with the high poly, and you should start working on the low poly, retopologizing. Retopologizing usually takes 1 day, day and a half. It depends on the model, of course. And then UVs, and then a little bit of texture, and then it's ready. And sometimes it's ready even for less than 2 weeks. But for less than 1 week to make a character like this, probably it can be done, but it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be not good. Do animators work with you, or do they do everything alone? They do everything alone. I may consult them when I'm doing the character itself. So do you want these loops here? Do you want more loops on the fingers? Do you want something like this? So we communicate. But when I gave them the model already, I don't hear from them. They are doing everything alone. Oh, Nikki. Oh, Momchi. Do animators work? Okay, yeah. Speech art. Does one need to have a lot of professional polishes pieces, 20 plus maybe, or something like that? Or 4 or 5 polished pieces are enough to land the job? I think from 2 to 5 pieces are completely enough. When you have more, it's better. But in the beginning, you will not be able to have even one highly polished, nice character, you know. So there's job only for sculpt, or they ask to do retopology too. These days you have to do everything. As a character artist, you have to do sculpt, retopology, UVs, textures, all those stuff. If you can do only sculpts, you have to be way better than the other character artists. For example, I know a guy, Ran Manolov is his name, and he was accepted back in the days. He knew only ZBrush and only how to sculpt, but he's amazing with anatomy. And they got him in some studio, foreign studio, to do only high poly sculpts, which is amazing for any character artist, but he was just that good. When you're not that good, you have to know everything. Hey, bald Uncle Nico. Hello. Sup, Nico. Thank you for a constant stream and tons of useful information. No problem. It's my pleasure. Let's go to the 3D Scorpion fan art here. From Mohamed. Okay, looking good, but you see, the render itself is a little bit awkward. These lights are too much in some areas, and I'm a little bit confused about the render of this model. Other than that, it's looking fine. But this is the render. Okay, this is not needed. This should be a clay render, right? But it's not exactly clay. It's something strange. I don't completely approve it. And also the background of it, it's kind of similar to the color of the model, and it looks strange. This belt, by the way, it's very awkward. It doesn't have any folds. It's just parallel, two parallel things going. So it looks a little bit unfinished. Yeah, so this is only a high poly. It looks a little bit unfinished. Let's see other things if we can. Okay. We have this. We have this guy. This guy looks good. Yeah, this guy looks great actually. I like the stylization and everything. But better renders definitely. Here, for example, almost all the detail on the face is lost because of the light. You know, the positioning of the light, the strength of the light is just flattening out the face. And other things like here, and here we don't have too much folds. Like, we don't need too much folds. Yeah, this is stylized character. We don't need too much folds, but we need some more strong folds. Just one or two, just strong ones in the right direction. That's okay. Good. This is better. We can see almost everything. But again, it looks a little bit unfinished. Here we don't understand what is happening. What is this? Is it a leather? Is it, you know, even if it's stylized, you kind of want to, you kind of can guess the material from the sculpting itself. In here, I cannot guess the material. Those probably should be metal, right? Okay, with a better render, with better materials, it would be nicer. This model is high poly. It's very easy for the high poly to just use Blender Kit add-on. And with Blender Kit add-on, you just go find gold and just drag it to your gold materials. And they become gold, of course, in the render. And it's pretty easy. Then you drag HDR and you try 1, 2, 3 HDRs until the gold looks nice. And with this, you can make much better renders and presentation. And this will enhance your portfolio. This is something just 3D printed, okay. But I don't think it belongs into a character artist portfolio. Yeah, it's your work, you may be proud of it, but it's not belonging in the character artist portfolio. That's the thing that I'm thinking. This is just a simple model that most people can do for 1 or 2 hours, and it also doesn't belong. Those models are much more complicated and better looking, so just leave them on. Maybe with better render and materials would be better, but it depends if you like to do this or you like to do another model from scratch. Usually I don't like to retouch old models. I would like to do something completely new, but you have to remember what's happening here. Why is this here? What's happening? This girl has huge issues with her back, I'm sure, because of all the weight in the front. The back and everything is probably killing her. She's suffering. Why are we doing suffering girls? I don't know. How do you remove internal mesh tool Blender for 3D printing? I can't seem to find a video on this. Internal mesh tool. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what is this. I hit Ctrl J, but the mesh is still inside. Help me. But Ctrl J is joining the mesh. So why are you joining since you want to delete it? You just select it and delete it. I don't know. How do you remove internal mesh? Okay, we already read that. What do you think is the hardest part of becoming 3D character artist? Sculpting, anatomy, texturing, low poly modeling, or something else? The hardest part is, in my opinion, is anatomy. Anatomy is a very complex thing, and it requires a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of studying, a lot of practice to learn. I even don't consider myself perfect in anatomy. I may be an expert because I'm better than most, but I'm not perfect. I have more to learn, and there are people that I see are better than me in anatomy. So anatomy is the most difficult, I think. Hey Nico, how are you today? You are very close to my portfolio. I feel like uploading my last project, but I don't know if I should do it because I still need to edit the process. So don't upload it, maybe some other time. Look at those bazooka donks on Romulu's sculpt them. Bazooka domes. Yeah, Romulu is making bazooka domes. We will see them in a minute. It will demonetize this video probably, but we'll see. They're not naked, so we should be fine. And we will make a feedback on those, so stay tuned. Also, I recommend you learn anthropomorphy when studying. I don't know what is this, by the way. I may look stupid, but I don't know what anthropomorphy is meaning. The girl character is from a recent anime, so probably that's why. Hello Nico, what's your favorite render engine to showcase your characters? Eevee probably is my favorite. Or Workbench. Workbench is probably, yeah. I'm usually using Workbench. For example, if I go to my, not the portfolio exactly, but these are my stuff, but let's go to the portfolio, if we can. Okay, from here. And this one, Lobo, one of my favorite sculpts, by the way, that I did. This render actually is the Workbench render in Blender, which means this is just your normal viewport render. It's not it's not Eevee, it's not Cycles, it's just this viewport render. And this also is the Workbench. And the shadow is not from Workbench. You see, I rendered the turntable once with the Workbench render, and then I rendered it again with the Cycles, or no, with Eevee, just to get a nice shadow on the floor, and then I put one behind the other. And now the front one is this one without the shadow, and the shadow is from the back one, which is you cannot see because it's exactly behind this one. So yeah, cool thing. But this is one of my favorite, and I have it on a figure. By the way, I will show you, because you deserve it. You know you will. You deserve it. You deserve it. I will have to try not to break it, by the way. But it is. This is just an amazing work. I mean, not my work. My work is fine, the model. But the painting is just superb from a guy here in Bulgaria who is painting. It's black and white, but still, those gradients and everything is just, what the shit, you know, it's superb. It's better than the model itself. We have metallic paint on the metallic parts, and you see the zipper even is visible. If we can see it, yeah, the zipper is visible. Everything is printed pretty well, and this is printed in one part. Everything is just one single mesh. It's not cut and everything. So these days with the modern printers, you can do something like this without cutting or whatever. It's just, you know, but this came out just one of my favorite. Maybe the favoriteest. I don't know. Here I am, big, and you see, unibrow, amazing. Amazing brow, just how you see. This is of course a printer with a photopolymer. Make a bigger version. I don't know. Are you working on 3D printer? No, I'm not working on 3D printer. I'm working on a computer right now. But maybe someday when 3D printers become computers and they have these big screens, maybe we can work on 3D printers. Best DC villain. Yeah, it's not that known, by the way. It's not that well known. They don't have too many movies about him. I think there is animation about him, but whatever. So, here, we see this girl. It's looking fine. The hair is nice and everything. We have this kind of things here. But the bra, or her cloth, it's not looking good because it's very much away from the skin. So, if you want the cloth to look good on your character, especially a character like this, you have to fit it in. You have to make sure that those boobs are kind of want to go out of the dress, and the dress is kind of going onto the skin. Now it's above it. You see here, the dress is above the skin. Here we have a huge shadow because the distance between the skin and the dress is big. Here also it seems like, you know, those creases are below the creases of the boobs, and it just doesn't look quite well because this is just masked and extracted and inflated, and it's like, what's happening? Like, she has huge boobs, but the cloth above them, it's kind of a plastic, and it's bigger than the boobs themselves. So that's why, you know, it's fine, but it could be much better. Okay. Here we have a big character with with some clothes and everything, with Marvel's designer with the clothes. The clothes are made with Marvel's designer, the pants. That's why they don't look that bad, but still, you see, you have a stylized character with stylized hair, and you have these very small wrinkles and folds on your pants, and the pants looks kind of ridiculously realistic, but it's a stylized character. It doesn't fit. So for stylized characters, I usually never would use Marvel's Designer. And a Marvel's Designer I usually don't use. I have used it back in the days, a couple of times, but since I don't do too much realistic characters, I don't care about it too much. But some people are doing great. So these pants are not bad, but they will be fit for a realistic character. This one is far from realistic, so I don't know. But you know, making a big boobs character will always do good for you. So, but try to make it more natural. Not the natural boobs. The thing over the boobs to fit more natural. To kind of squeeze the boobs a little bit. They have to bump a little bit on this side and here, just in between, just to get out and, you know, to feel that this dress is kind of containing them barely containing them. And that's when you will become a master of disaster. Making time-lapse figure printing. Since I don't print my figures, I have two friends. One of them is painting them and printing them, and he's amazing in both printing and painting them. And the other guy is just printing, and this is from the guy who is just printing them for me. This is the Dragon Girl Cruise, already broken stuff here. I think we have a broken thing, and maybe in other places, but it's not visible too much, the broken. But yeah, this is just one piece again, everything, just one piece, and it's working great. But we'll see the painted version at some point after a couple of months, maybe. Did you any work on low poly, high poly, bake mesh or substance painter painting? Yes. Always be good, huh? Yes. Please tell me how much in percentage do you know Blender? Is it possible to know every function of this software? I'm sure it is. For example, the Blender guru, the famous guy with the donut, probably knows every function of Blender. For me, it's not needed. I don't know a couple of functions like I don't know, let's see, Blender. This is something that, just a practice. But we see compositing here. I don't know anything about this. Geometry nodes. I know very little about geometry nodes. Rendering. I know some stuff about rendering. Animation. Nothing about animation almost. Shading. I know some stuff about shading. But Blender probably is crashing. Okay, it's not. Texture paint. I don't do texture paint too much, so I don't know too much about it. UV editing. I know some stuff about this because I've done it a lot of times. Sculpting. I know the most about this, of course. Modeling. I know a lot about modeling too. So mostly modeling, sculpting, UV editing is what you need. The other things, if you're a character artist, you should care about rendering also and shading. But you know, I'm not saying you should care about this or that. It's your choice. If you like doing animations, for example, you can care about animation tab. Or if you like to do geometry nodes, you can do that too. It's up to you. By the way, I'm preparing a full anatomy figure. It's not this one, another one. Just fixing a few things for my Bridgman anatomy figure. And I will probably release it in ArtStation marketplace. Just like a reference or something, you can print it. But we'll see. I'm just saying, it may not happen. Nico, Blender 4.3.2 is out. I don't care about those kind of point versions. I'm working with 4.3. For now it's working. I'm trying to save often because you know what happened in the stream Monday with Lobo. The Lobo stream just suddenly disappeared. I was doing it, we have hair, we have face paint, we had a lot of things, and we were doing great, and suddenly Blender just disappeared, and no save file whatsoever. So yeah, Blender disappoints me a little bit, but since it's free program, we can forgive it. Ooh, we have nice weapons here. This is from my course. By the way, pretty complex characters I did back then. Yeah. Good. Of course, this character is not my doing. This is this guy, who is from India. And this is nice. This is nice. I like this drawing, although it's not super finished or anything, but it looks interesting. It looks nice. I like this gun. I like this gun a lot. But what is this? P320X. I like guns, by the way, and this one is made very nicely. Let's see it, by the way, bigger, because, yeah, you see this texture here. We have fingerprints. Amazing. We have some little hairs here and there, like a dust. We have just this tiny detail. What's happening here? I cannot understand. How is this possible? We have even machine marks from the machining of the gun. I haven't never seen, I think, this level of detail on a prop before. It's just mind-blowing. What's happening here? I'm thrilled to present my new project to everyone. The ZBrush. Yeah, ZBrush, great guns. I like them a lot. This is a 9mm strike for worked extremely hard. Want to thank Igor for giving texturing feedback along the way. Igor gave you very good texturing feedback, I guess. This is just mind-blowing. And it's not symmetrical like the real gun. You know, here we don't have anything, but here we have the opening for the shells to come out. Here we have this. Here we have this. This is the back part of it. And this also have machine marks on it. And some grease mark a little bit. What's happening here? I cannot believe the level of detail I'm seeing in this. Machine marks on every surface. Different machine marks for the different surfaces. Because they were made different way. What's happening here? I'm a little bit speechless. What is this? Let's see the other guns. I'm confused. This one also has some marks from the machining, from the other processes that it has gone through. But to make this kind of level of detail gun, it's extremely difficult, and that's why not many people are doing it. That's why I'm so like speechless, and I'm watching it from up close, and I'm looking at it and looking here and looking there and finding details and finding little things. You know, I said I'm a character artist. I like to do characters, but I have done weapons, I have done houses, and I can appreciate when something is done just superbly, just amazingly well. In such a way that I cannot believe this is done by a human. Wow, so much attention to detail. This takes so much time and effort and so much patience, actually, because you can do 50% of this and the gun would still look amazing. And then you will say, okay, I will put it in my art station, everything is fine. But to put more and more work until it looks at this just ridiculous level, I don't know if I ever seen guns made this detailed and this good, with so many details, little writings here and there, textures and everything. It's just wow. I am blown away. This one is also good, but it has a little bit of generic normal texture. It's still fine, it's still better than most, but these last two weapons were just mind-blowing. I cannot believe. But I'm glad we witnessed that. It's just so nice. The characters are okay, but those weapons are just goddamn. Goddamn. Damn God. How confidently you should tell that those are not real guns if you had no context? They look too detailed to be real, I would say, you know. They are not real, definitely are not real, but yeah, let's see again. The details and the textures are a little bit too much. I mean, they're looking very great for these renders and everything, but some of them are a little bit overkill, and it looks like a render, but still it's amazing. And this below the box, it looks amazing. Cardboard box, it looks super nice. Wow, this is just maybe the guy had amazing references also. Because in amazing reference with very, very high resolution, or you can see some of those machine marks and the others, and probably you can replicate them later, or you can just photograph them and make textures out of them. I'm not sure how it can be done exactly, but it's wow. Oh, this is the inside, the trigger mechanism of the gun, actually. So you can disassemble the gun, you will have trigger mechanism, you will have some rubber fillings or stuff like this, and wow. Speechless. I am speechless. I usually am not speechless, but now I'm a little bit out of speech, which means speechless. Yeah, we will take our time to see this video because it's just, yeah. You know how rarely you can see this amazing attention to the detail. So we have to enjoy it even more. It's just when you are eating normal food and suddenly you eat Thai food, or you eat Turkish food, or you eat Indian food, and it's something completely amazing with a lot of detail in the taste, you know. Yeah. Before you have eaten only Austrian or German food, which is bland, just normal, blah. And then you eat Turkish, Thai food, or Indian food. And you're like, what's happening? Can the food taste so much with so many levels of taste? This is the barrel here. No, I'm very interested in guns, by the way, and this blows my mind. Again, the manufacturer marks. This is just wow. Ooh, disassembly of the trigger mechanism and the safety and everything. I don't know, if the guy's around the chat somewhere, I would ask how many hours went into this gun. Should be just something incredible. Even the grease, yeah, everything. There's a very good YouTube channel called Flycat. I know. There are a lot of very good YouTube channels, better than mine, so sorry. Ah, you're here, 3 months. 3 months. Wow. Amazing stuff. 3 months. Definitely a lot of time. So, good things require time. And this is just superb. Yeah. Okay, man. You know that this level of detail, this level of manufacturing, the 3D, I mean, it's super rare. You cannot see it anywhere. This needs to be front page or whatever, and it has 795 likes from the last month. So it has a decent amount of likes. It deserves more, but still, for weapons, people don't appreciate them too much. They see the thumbnail, they say, wow, very nicely rendered weapon, very nice, okay, let's like it. But some people will say, very nice, I will not like it, it's not a character, and they will move on. But for me, it's just, wow. Okay. I have a friend, by the way, who is also a character artist, very good one. This game that I've shown you earlier, he made half of the characters, I made the other half of the characters, but he will appreciate this gun like me. It's just what is happening. I'm diving fully in characters now as my props practice is done. Definitely it's done. Definitely it's done. And if you put so many effort and details in your character, of course in the character you cannot get away only with the details. You have to make a very good fundamentals, like the anatomy and facial anatomy especially, because in your character, from my course, the face is not super good. We see the face and it's, yeah, it's not very nice. It has a big chin, for example. Here around the lips what's happening there, we don't know. So it's not perfect, but probably it's one of the first characters that we have done, I guess. So it's for a first character, maybe this is your first, I don't know. But for one of the first characters, this is just very, very nice. Overall, super cool. Just the faces, so you have to work more on the faces. And you will be just amazing. With this patience and attention to the detail, I'm a little bit afraid what will happen. Let's go, Suban Wasim. How much time do we have? We will have to finish soon. Okay, we have a character. So we have a concept, I think, somewhere. No, this is just a render. Or this is... No, this is the 3D again. Okay, not a bad character, but in the thumbnail it looks a little bit simple. It is kind of simple. It's looking simple, but the hair is nice. And yeah, the dress not so much, but it's a certain style, so it fits. But what we have here, we have some cars with some other cars. The problem here is this doesn't look like work from a person. It looks like a screenshot from a game. From some game couple of years ago, it looks like a screenshot. So this will not attract too much attention. You see, one like. And it's a back of a car also. So when you're making something that looks like a shot from a game, you have to be very careful. You may make all the assets, render them nicely and make all the characters and whatever, but if you make it look like a shot from a game, people will think that you just make a shot from a game. So try to present your character in a different way, not like a shot from a game. Okay, this looks nice, but it's still looking like a work in progress. It's not kind of finished, not completely polished. So it's whip. This one also looks like a whip. I don't think it belongs, but it depends. When you start your character journey, well, for example, when I started, I would be proud to do something like this cute book girl, or to do something like this. I will be very proud. So probably you are proud and you're putting them there, which is great. But at some point, I would guess you have to just remove them and leave only finished pieces. Probably like this one, but better. And better, like this one. This one is not bad, but still it looks a little bit work in progress. It's a low poly character, I guess, and it doesn't have a high poly. You did it from with poly modeling, not sculpting probably. But it's looking pretty good, actually. The style of it and everything, it's on point. So this is one of the good things in the portfolio. This relatively simple looking character. It's not exactly that simple, by the way. Okay, how many portfolios we have until the end? A lot. So I guess we will have to continue next week. But the next week we will not be able to continue. Because next week is starting the holiday season and I will be off until 3rd of January. I don't know. Let's do a couple more portfolios. Right. Let's do them. Suddenly, what happens is my voice became more manly. I don't know why. I just drank some water. It was not even vodka or something. Нет vodka. Est rakia. But doesn't matter. My voice became manly. And now, with this manly voice, we will see the portfolio of Andrews from Philippines. And he has this very nice deer with a hat. A plush deer. Low poly it has also, and some interesting materials. So, not bad. But let's see some anatomy. This guy. Okay, the face doesn't look quite well. Why? Probably Andrews doesn't have too much experience with making anatomy correct faces, and that's okay. By the way, be careful with the this deer. This deer has this post, and this post. Just leave the last one and just remove the other ones. Those things here are work in progress. They're fine, but you know, you may not remove them now, but when you make nicer characters like this deer, but better, with better anatomy and everything, then you will have to remove those at some point. For now, it's fine. Probably now you're learning, and this is the best stage, by the way, when you're constantly improving and you see the improvement almost every day. And this is a good stage to be. Now, in my stage, I'm not seeing any improvement, kind of never, which is a little bit discouraging. And to see improvement, I have to work much more and for more hours to see some improvement. It's the same with the fitness. When you go to the gym and you start training, in the beginning, in the first 3 months, you will see enormous gains. If you train like you have to train, you will see enormous gains, and after, the gains will start to get lower and lower and lower, and at some point you will train a lot with no result at all. You will just maintain. So yeah, I'm on this stage right now with the sculpting a little bit. Damn, almost to mine. We can go to yours, we'll see. Nico, will you have time to start freelance work before January 3rd? Or? It depends what's the freelance work, because now I have couple of freelance works incidentally. I haven't had almost any freelance in all the 2024, so I decided that freelance is dead. But obviously, there are some people who want some things done. I don't know. For material, what is the best in Substance Painter, sir? That's an interesting question. What is best for your model and for your purpose. It's always different. Oh, it was very near my portfolio. Maybe I'm just doing to wait to next week. Next week I will not be able to, so I will try to do the most today. What things in character art do you think you need to work on to get to the next level, considering the fitness analogy you gave? In my case, I have to do more practices, and to do more practices with the references that I have. For example, I have to look at this, do practice to try to do this leg. And while doing this leg, I will look at the muscles from here to here. I will try to understand, because you know, understanding all those muscles and how they act and how they do in three dimensions is not an easy task even for me. You know, I know how to do a basic leg. I know how to do a leg that looks fine, but since I'm now studying to make the course for leg and feet anatomy, I need to know how to explain the forms and legs in a better way so people can understand. I do this for all my anatomy tutorials, and that's why they're so good and have good ratings. So yeah, I'm bragging again. Hopefully you don't mind me bragging. Mustafa Ibrahim, Allah, 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 we'll pray for you. Yeah, I like Queen a lot. So this is some kind of a weapon, post-apocalyptic weapon. There is attention to detail here, because here you have these rivets and here we don't have the rivet. It had fallen off, which is nice. So yeah, good. We have this. Is some kind of a ghost in the shell thing. Okay. These are some props. Cool, I don't know what to say. Props. Nice. Of course, the materials and render can always be better, as we saw with the gun that we saw, the handgun, the Zigzauer. This was the example to what height you can put your models. It doesn't matter if it's hard surface or soft surface, whatever. This is probably the highest point. And from this to the low, there are variations, a lot of them. Hey Nico, my portfolio is up next. I started using Blender 7-8 months ago and I'm trying to get into this industry. Any advice is appreciated, even if it will take January for the next review. So, you see, I will tell you. To get into the industry, you need to learn sculpting, you need to learn working from concept, you need to learn how to do proper props, UVs and everything. You can learn this with Blender with no problem. Blender is completely enough and you can do it with Blender. To work in the industry, you just, after you are very good with anatomy and character modeling and everything, you need to just learn a little bit of ZBrush. You just need to learn the software because most companies, they will require ZBrush for a character artist. That's unfortunate. Of course, if you don't want to learn ZBrush, it's fine. If you're good enough and you're making amazing models using only a free program, Blender, then everybody will be fine with that, I guess. It's not a problem. Blender is a good 3D program. It can export every type of file needed, so it will not be a problem. Me, the last year in Gameloft, or year and a half that was in Gameloft, I was working only with Blender. I was making the high polys with Blender, I was making the low poly, UVs, everything, and just go to Substance Painter for the texture and baking, for the baking and texture. So here we have a relatively nice model, but the face is a little bit awkward. Maybe the chin is a little bit too big, could be. Here we have, the cloth job is not superb. We need more folds in here, and the folds overall look like they're made with Marvel's Designer in some areas, but or with some kind of I don't know, simulation, because those folds are looking relatively realistic. But we never have a kimono like this without any seams. So try to make some seams in your models. It will look even more realistic and more nice, even if it is a stylized model. This skirt is nice and the folds are nice. They're realistic, so maybe they are made with Marvel's Designer. And overall, when I see this as a whole picture, it looks very nice. The anatomy of the leg is nice, and here everything, but there are certain details, like here the kimono made without any seams looks like some kind of big blob of plastic like put onto her. It doesn't look real when it doesn't have seams. You know, it has to have. But overall, the pose, the skirt, and it's pretty good. And the anatomy also, I like it. So we have good things here. This guy I know. It's a likeness. Likenesses are not exactly my thing. It looks pretty much like him, but still the face is a little bit too wide probably. And there is this thing that the head is too big for the face. So the face is too small for the head, or both. You see, when you watch the eyes, for example, the distance between the eyes should be one eye. In this case, it's a little bit more than one eye. This is the first. The distance between the end of the head from the eye usually have to be one eye also. Here is a little bit more than one eye. At least that's how it looks. That's why this looks a little bit too inflated, too wide. Other than that, it looks like him definitely. Alright, here those two, I don't know why, but putting two posts with the same mesh is not needed. This is too much inside the model. We don't need to see it that close, I think. We need to see it from afar and appreciate it, and it's looking great. The folds here are looking nice here. Very good, I would say. This looks nice. This is a little bit uncanny valley from here, what I'm seeing. This one is looking nice. The hand, although, is a little bit too like sausagey. It doesn't have a structure. It doesn't have bones inside. It's not visible. It should be a little bit more stylized, because the face is kind of stylized. So sausage hands are not of our liking. But overall, great job. Marvel's Designer, yeah. Marvel's Designer is visible when it's used. By the way, I'm a little bit confused that most people, they don't know how to do by hand, good folds by hand. And it's not easy by any means. It's difficult. But yeah, I have to do a proper show of how to do it. What's happening here? So this thing is the concept made by AI, and this is the model. The model is not bad, but the concept is looking very good. Even I would like to do something like this. So what I do when I find a nice concept that I like to do, I just grab it and paste it in my file here, and someday I will get to it probably. And I have a lot of concepts here. For example, yesterday I found out this one, this Hawk one. It looks very nice, and I just want to try to do it. I was thinking of doing this guy for a YouTube series, and I started to try to do it, and it came out pretty bad. So this is pretty difficult thing to do, but it's a very nice concept. So yeah, when I find a good concept, this one is also, I think, made by AI, or it's made by somebody, some guy. I'm not sure. Probably it's a real 3D, but it's looking very good. So I paste it here to use it as inspiration or as practice, because beautiful girls are pretty hard to do, even for me, and I need practice. This one is AI, some kind of Centaurus, and it's looking great. So I just decided to, you know, maybe I can do some modeling doing that. I don't know. Save. And this, by the way, is my leg anatomy references thing, but other than that, I have put many things in here because I don't like to change between pure refs. I just put everything in one file, and when I finish the course for leg anatomy, I will just leave the leg things. The other ones I will delete and save it inside the folder of the course. But this girl, yeah, cool. Let's see something else. Oh, we have only this girl. So cool. Finland. The guy from Finland. Finish him. Finish her. AI everywhere. AI, unfortunately, is making very nice pictures. Models, no, but pictures, it's making very nice. So we can use it in our advantage. When we see a very nice, like, render or model, not render, a very nice model, it's more inspirational to make a good and nice looking 3D model, you know. When you have a nice concept and you can use the knowledge of the concept, forms, shapes, and overall language to make your model look nice and to translate this into your other models also to look nice. You can learn things from nice concepts. That's why it's cool, you know. Somebody just We have some whips here, and let's see, this is a character. Okay, ooh, nice face, nice face. And overall, this looks pretty nice. The render itself, I don't completely like. Why? So the skin is looking relatively fine, but the clothes, they're too dark. And that's just, you know, hit or miss for me. And this is a miss. Dark background and very dark clothes. And you're kind of missing the overall silhouette a little bit in some places and just making it a bit bad. But the face is looking great. Clay render, a little bit too bright. It can be more contrasty. And this is the ref sheet. Let's see this. Okay, good. Good. But yeah, it always can be better. It depends on how many hours you have worked until now. How many hours you have put into character creation. You know, a silhouette looks great, but the folds are a little bit chaotic here and there, and they put just to have something, which I always say that it's not good. When you put clothes in folds in clothing, you want them to be in a particular place for a particular purpose and to look particularly nice. For example, if you want to do a leather jacket, you better find a good reference. This is not a good reference for the sleeves. This is a very bad reference for the sleeves. So if you want to do sleeves, find a good reference, you know. This may be a good reference for some other things, but for the sleeves it's very bad. So I would find another reference if I want to do a leather jacket, which will be different. This one is a reference for leather pants, but it's not a very good reference. It's a reference for the design of the pants, but for the folds, it's a very bad reference. Those folds will never look nice on a 3D model. So obviously, this is realistic pants. This is obviously a shot from the movie, and it's realistic, but realistic doesn't always means nice looking, particularly in a 3D model. It's sometimes, many times, it doesn't look good. So you have to find a good looking folds that you see the folds and say, okay, this will look good on my model, and then you use it as a reference for the folds. If you do folds without reference, you will fail, especially in the beginning when you are starting your career, when you are learning, because when you're learning, you always should use references. I'm not saying that I'm not learning. I'm still learning. Everybody is still learning. So I'm also using references all the time that I want to do nice folds on a shirt, on a t-shirt, on a jacket, on a trench coat. I would go and try to find good references for the folds, because otherwise the folds would be, even my folds, I have a lot of experience, but even my folds will be kind of mediocre if I don't use references. So using references is your best bet to make something better than your former self, you know. Okay. Hi Nico, I'm new to 3D. I would appreciate your opinion on my portfolio. You know, you shouldn't listen to me if I say you don't have a future as a 3D artist, for example. It's stupid. It's not. I will never say that, of course, because I believe that anybody, and this is pretty good actually. I'm not saying about this. I'm saying generally, anybody can do 3D characters. I believe that. You have to just be a little bit more willing to put the time and effort to learn, because it's not that easy. It's not easy at all, but it's a lot of fun, at least for me. So it's a lot of fun to learn. Now, for this, I would say we are missing other images. We are missing clay render. We are missing turntable. We are missing, view from other angles. All those things has to be here, because you are spending time to make a 3D character, present it as a 3D character, like this from the course. By the way, this is a very good presentation from the course. You have also a turntable, very well made, I would say, very well made. Captain Fox, very cool. And this is from the course of Next to Education. By the way, this course, I guess, is one of their best courses, although I have done some courses for them, but this was before. This is stylized character, pretty well done. And yeah, we have seen 2 of those characters in these portfolios today only, and they are looking great. So if the characters from the courses are looking great, this means 2 things. First, the course is obviously very good. Second, the students are also paying attention, and they are taking the time to make it look nice. So both things, yeah, I'm not afraid to admit that their courses at least as good as mine. But yeah, I saw this cool concept on ArtStation and decided to model it. So you are saying that you didn't do it from the course of Next to Education? I don't know. Do you use Resume UV when you create UVs on low poly, and what do you think? Is this program essential to study? No, I don't think so. I've always used only the... for example, when I was doing UVs with 3D Max, I was using no add-ons or plugins or whatever. Now in Blender, I'm not using any add-ons or plugins for UVs. I don't know, if you like to maybe speed up your workflow or learn Resume UVs or some other UV add-on, I guess it's absolutely fine. And probably you will be faster. But for me, I'm a little bit old school, so I do this all by hand. Has everyone hit the like button? You don't need to hit anything if you don't want. Because hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, those things require to grab the mouse, to move it, the cursor, it's heavy, to move the cursor to the button, click it, and then maybe there will be something that will came out like, are you sure you want to subscribe to this troll guy? And you have to say yes and stuff like this. So it's, I will not make anybody to do that. This is just the torture. What course is what? I can't find. So, if you want to find the course, I will advertise the course from my mortal enemies next to the education. They are not my... I was working for them. Next to the education. Let's see. Oh. Where are the courses? What's happening here? Why is this? I don't know. Next to education doesn't have any courses. There is something wrong here. Let's see again. Next to education. Ah! Search digital products. And now here, if we go to tutorials, we should be able to find it. This is looking good, by the way. This is from Sakupato Aguacate in the Discord server. This is a guy from the Discord server. And this is just amazing model, I would say. This is just superb. Very nicely made. So this course I would consider. It's a little bit expensive, but I guess because it's how many hours? A lot of hours. This is a long course. And it made everything, retopology, 3D and posing, and 55 hours, over 55 hours. That's why it's 40 euro. It's not 20 like most courses, because it's a lot. But as we can see, it's trending right now because people are buying it a lot, obviously. Let's see, where is this next to education? This is stylized female head sculpting in Blender course. Nice, people are buying this, right? Dragon Girl in Blender is my latest course. This is one of my latest courses also. This is also mine with the arms. But this is Victory 3D. Where is 3D female character step-by-step process? Looking good. But where is the next to education? Let's try to search here. Next to. Maybe like this. So this is not a course from them. I thought, because one guy was making the course. This is one of my courses, and this one also for next to education. This also, and the girl also. Where is the girl, by the way? The assassin, the female assassin. This one is also mine. Girl and dog. Of course, these courses are now owned by Nextwood. Why it has 4.3 rating? What's happening? People don't like it. You have sold me 16 courses but promised 17 on YouTube and don't answer to my message. That's why. Interesting. Interesting stuff. But we don't see this particular course that we are talking about. I don't know why. There is something broken here. But I guess it was here. Here it is. Stylish character, sculpting in ZBrush. Not bad, not bad. Not bad. But why is this a 2... for God's sake, don't put 2-star reviews, you know. Let's read it. From Shadow Hero. The concept is cool and overall you get to learn many things, but not really the best way in my opinion. The course is structured pretty well, so why do you give it 2 stars? But there are so many videos or parts in videos that feel so random and all over the place. I know it's a good thing to kind of refresh your view sometimes and work on other things, but not that frequently. To keep in short, I think that's a good course for beginners at this price, but it has flaws. It didn't quite meet my expectations. So, you know, this guy is very, very wrong. This course is cost 15 euro. For 15 euro, you're getting around 20 hours of 3D character creation course. This, in any time, in anywhere in the planet of Earth, was never like this, you know. Back in the days, those courses like this were costing hundreds of euros. Now you can get for 15 euro and you're not happy with that, you know. I'm just amazed. What's happening? People are starting to, you know, this guy has never seen like, I don't know, I cannot say. This is my competition. I mean, Next to Education is a competition of my courses, yes. But how can they put this kind of bad ratings? I don't understand. I don't understand these people. Let's see this. Those faces, I'm not completely sure. But of course, for beginners, it's absolutely fine, I think. Let's see my faces. Maybe they are bad as well. No, they are not that bad. You see this? Feedback on beginner head. We have a couple of beginner head feedbacks. Like this, for example, and this one. This is useful. So where were we? Yeah, how much time do we have? Ooh, 2 hours and 20 minutes. This video became quite long. Yeah, 2 stars is brain dead, but I mean, people should appreciate that a course nowadays, a very good course, can cost 15 euro or 20 euro. It's just amazing. So you have to put 5 stars only for that. Only that the courses are so cheap. And inside the course, whatever you find, it's just almost for free. So, I don't know. Oh, I'm doing this course now. Good. Also, have you seen new Siege Boost course with character? No, I haven't. Nico, how people making girls with one hand? Some people are smart. They masturbate a couple of times before they start doing the girl. And then they don't have a power to masturbate anymore. So they just do it with both hands. This is my advertisement, you know. You have to think. You have to think. So before you sculpt beautiful girls, do a little work beforehand. And then with the hand. And then you will have both hands free to sculpt. Brain. Speaking from experience, of course. Of course, speaking from experience. What are you talking about? So you're saying you're not masturbating, right? Yeah, liars. Everybody is lying sometimes, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't lie to yourself even. Just be honest. It's fine. What kind of loser use one hand? You need to learn to masturbate, not learn sculpt. First, one thing. Second, the other thing. You know, don't mix them. Mixing them you will not do either one properly. You know, you have to sculpt with one hand, and the other thing is just so. You know, you have to order the things. You know, first the one thing. Second, this thing. So third. I don't know what will be third. Something else. Okay, let's see one last portfolio and we will be done for today because it's a long video. We already seen that, which is good. I will have to put the like. And let's see. Yunus Akhmadiev from Russia. Yes, from Moscow. Moscow. This is my window of this video. Yes, where I read the comments. Moscow. Раз, два, три. Moscow. Посмотри. Nice Bugatti. With a nice background. Ooh, very nice. I like this. Attention to detail. Cool. Very cool. Very cool. This one. A ships or a ship. I don't know. Ooh, we have animation. Wait. Okay. This makes me a little bit dizzy. Couple of ships pass out. there is too much time without any moving of things. It should be cut in half at least this time, because just seeing this kind of sky for more than 2 seconds, it's a little bit too much. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 seconds of seeing nothing but sky, it's too much. 2 seconds, it's fine. Attention span of people these days is very small. So you have to give them things fast. But it's great things. We don't have characters, but still nice and interesting stuff. Ooh, I'm a little bit curious to see those clear renders and stuff here. Looking good. Looking pretty good. But again, what do we see here? We see nice attention to the detail here. We see nice kind of something like texture. And here is like, let's work a little bit on it and leave it. There are like these wavy things here, which seems not so good. But the face is awesome. The face is just very nice. I like it a lot. And the clavicle here and everything is kind of fine. This one is another one. Okay. I like the hair, by the way. It's very nice. Nicely made. Okay. Good. Good stuff. Nice. Yeah, this one. Let's see. This is from Marmoset. Animation. Oh, she's blinking and turning. Hand-painted textures all over the place. Not bad. Alright, so this is low poly with hand-painted textures and just looking great. What can we say? When something looks great, it looks great. This one, nice. With these feathers, which are colorful, and it's a low poly. Very, very cool. I like it. What is this? Hairs. Different types of hairs. Huh. Those hairs, by the way, if you take those hairs, put them in one pack and put them for sale, if you can, of course, probably this is from some kind of game, but if you can, maybe they will sell. People will buy them. They are nice, stylized, different types of hairs. They can be useful for people, and there are a lot of them. So yeah, very cool. It's a good idea if you are allowed to just take them, put them in one pack and start selling them in ArtStation marketplace. It will be amazing. So good portfolio of Maroon preferred. I cannot read it quite well. France. Yeah, I cannot read French, by the way. It's just difficult for me. It's like I don't know. Дойди до фаутес и можно заканчиват. I will not be able to continue, by the way. It's too much. It's like 2 hours and something. So how to deal with art block? It's very difficult to deal with art block, but the one thing that you can do is stop watching YouTube or TikTok videos, because they will take too much of your time, those short videos I mean, and start watching ArtStation and start watching other artist processes. For example, I find inspiration in watching Danny Mac. Danny Mac is a very hardworking guy, and he's making interesting stylized characters. These days his channel is a little bit off, I don't know why. He has almost 300,000 subscribers, but his videos rarely have more than 10,000 views these days. I don't know what happened with Danny Mac, but he is pretty good, and I find inspiration watching him. You can watch me, my sculpts, my speed sculpts for inspiration in YouTube. Or you can go to ArtStation and just browse some stuff until you find some 2D artwork that you like, and you start doing it in Blender, and you spend your time like hours and hours and trying to achieve the likeness of the sculpt. It will be fine. Никой started Hinge Red, definitely. You don't need to put a Subway Surfer gameplay above your art if you want people to stay focused. That's interesting. Watch for the exploding scooters in Moscow. Really? I've seen the scooters, by the way, in one video. There was one black guy from America. This year, it was this year, he went to Moscow and he was going there. He was showing the stuff, he was photographing and shooting, and he didn't know any Russian, so he was doing it in English. But it's nice. I like to visit Moscow someday, even soon, sooner rather than later. We will see. For character artists, in summary, what should the ArtStation look like? Just I will show you. So we go to this. This is my store, but we go to ArtStation as a whole, and we go to trending. And now in trending, we see Gilberto Magno. Oh, this is not Gilberto Magno. This is another artist. What is this? This is a 3D. Is it look good? No, it looks fucking amazing. So this is just something superb. There is nothing that I can do better than this guy. I mean, in this case, this model is just super nice. So it's very inspirational, you know. And this guy is from China, probably. Yes, China. Chinese guys are just amazing. So if you have a portfolio like this, it will be fine. For example, this, he can show that he can make stylized characters. Although we cannot see other images of this character, which is awkward. We should be able to see more images and see this one is not AI, because we can see from different angles, slight different angles we can see her from. So yeah, she's legit. Amazing stuff. But this is more like work in progress. Your portfolio could look like this, you'll be fine. This one, I guess, could be removed. It's not in a level of the other ones, the other arts here. So, this one also. You know, doing random portfolio reviews for the guys from trending, it's just amazing. Where do we get, how do we get to here? I mean, I don't know what happened. Let's see this. Yuan Wu. From where? From China. Everybody's from China these days. That's strange, by the way. Yeah, but random guy. Not a bad portfolio. Maybe not the best, because he doesn't have too many works, but they're quality works. Let's see this one. Quality. Is there the whole character? Yeah, he's showing us the character slowly. And you see how nice he made even the toes and I mean, the feet and everything is just superb. This looks pretty cool. And nice materials, amazing render. And we can see it from other, from other points, so we know it's not AI. So yeah, your portfolio could look like this. Or it could look like mine. Let's see my portfolio. It's always a nice thing to see. My portfolio is interesting because it's all blue background, especially the first, those last artworks, all my courses. And on the bottom you can see older works. For example, this Batman is from 10 years ago. I did it just for fun in the office. One of the other guys had made some Batman, and I decided that I can do better, and I made this Batman. It's completely my design. It's absolutely original Batman. This I did just to test some sculpting with some tubes in ZBrush. So this is some kind of alien. It's not on a good level, but I leave it here because nobody is seeing it. It's just on the end of my, portfolio. Nobody goes there. So it's yeah. But if you have just one page of works, then you have to be careful what you put there. This is one of the most realistic things I've done. But you see, this is a render. So for the render, I did in Photoshop the eyebrows. I did the mustache in Photoshop. I did a little bit more work on the facial texture with Photoshop. Everything else is 3D, but the face is kind of Photoshopped. The real face looks a little bit different. It's almost the same, but not. And you see how I have interesting folds. They're not bad. I like them. I like the folds. Everything is done completely by hand. And how those belts are kind of making the fabric, which is puffy fabric, kind of go and have these folds around it. That's fun to do, actually. And we have this guy here, which is, yeah, I'm not ashamed. And this is my anatomy study, which I kind of will redo a little bit. And maybe this one will be the figure. I have it as a figure, by the way, also. This one is nothing too much, but it's not bad. It has some detail. So it's not exactly a work in progress. It's kind of a finished image at the end. Render. This is some kind of a test here. And this is, by the way, an example of not very good. So you see here, we have one background. Here we have completely something else as a background and just the head. Here we have completely different background. And the background is too much, by the way. This is too much color. And this is just the figure printed of the head of this character. So we would like things to be more consistent. So this also is a little bit not consistent. So we have a background like a comic book character. Here we have another. Here we have the same as... and now it's consistent, but this first was not completely consistent. Let's see this. Not bad. A little bit more contrast probably here will be better. Let's see the video. A little bit more color and contrast probably will be nice. But we have a clay render. Relatively fine. Yeah, this course is cool, but it's only WingFox. And the latest, let's see the latest one. Yeah, this one is nice. I kind of like it. Not bad. And the clay renders came out cool. And also this guy is not bad. Although there is a problem with the eyebrow. It shouldn't be one eyebrow, I guess. And the nose is a little bit too big. And probably the perspective. Yeah, you should change the perspective on this guy. And also these wrinkles on the forehead, they're a little bit too uniform. They're kind of a parallel lines. And it's a little bit boring. So it's not exactly perfect. This, what else? Other than that, he looks kind of realistic, I guess. But the eyes, they should have a shadow of the upper eyelid. Has to throw a shadow on the eyeball. Otherwise, the guy looks always like this. So, yeah. You know, feedback. I'm making feedback. Okay. Nico, are you going to watch the new Superman trailer on 1 hour from now? I guess I will watch it at some point. I don't need to watch it exactly. He needs an afro. So yeah, needs a big afro here. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for appreciating. And click the like, subscribe button. Click the close button. Maybe you can click or refresh button. Whatever buttons you want, just click them. And everything will be fine. Bye for now. See you later. And alligator and everything. Maybe next week. We will not do a stream. We will see. The week after the next week... it depends. Maybe not again. But, you know, holidays. Who knows what will happen? Nobody knows.